Hello, everybody. This is Lisa from Diamond Designs. This is my second WIP and chat video. First and foremost, I want to thank every single one of you who, hold on, we have a jumping cat. If you saw the last video, cat has jumped. This is Charlotte. She's going to be, there she is. I think I saved the camera, now I have to get up and check, from falling over that time. All right, we've made some progress. So in my first video, like, I don't know, 3 minutes into recording it, my other cat, Smokey, jumped up and decided he was gonna, here, I'll make room for her to lay down. Hi, sweetheart. He jumped up and wanted to lay down. They like to do that. Sometimes when I diamond paint, and usually it's Smokey that's up here, but it looks like Charlotte has decided to join us today. So she is my younger cat. We got Smokey in, I think, 2017, and I believe we got Charlotte in 2019. Adopted both of them. So anyway, I wanted to thank every single one of you who took the time to watch my first WIP and chat. It got a lot more views than I expected it to. I gained a couple of followers on YouTube. I think it was 6 to be exact. So to me, that's a pretty big deal. But above all of that, like, I found myself, first of all, my fiance was like super proud of me for finally doing it, because I've been talking about it forever. Again, I'm a huge procrastinator, and he was like, that's amazing. Like, I'm so proud of you. And he was like, you should do more. And I was like, yeah, like, just talking to, in this moment, it's nobody, because I'm recording it on my phone. And then I have to upload it later. But, like, even if it doesn't take off and I don't get a bunch of subscribers or whatever, if it's just an outlet for me to come and vent to, and for other people who are going through similar things to listen to, and it, like, makes you feel better, then avoided another phone call. Then it's worth it to me. Like, I was just out and about. I had to run a couple errands, took my fiance to work, and the entire way back, like, I've been in a bit of a mental funk, which isn't like an unusual thing for me, but it's like pretty bad right now. And on my way home, so me and my daughter used to, back when I would spend frivolously, we went to Starbucks like all the time. Now, I should preface that by saying that I used to be one of those people that swore to God, like, I'll never do Starbucks. I don't understand what the hype's about, blah, blah, blah. Well, I finally decided to try it because my daughter, I think either like through a friend had tried a drink, or she had heard about a drink or something. And I was like, all right, well, if she wants it, then let's go. And I am a big coffee person, but I also like fruity drinks. And Starbucks has a lot of them. Now, their prices were bad then. They're astronomical now. So now we go so infrequently that we call it, like, I need a Starbucks day if we're having a really bad day, or if, if we're just, we need a mental health day. I have in the past, and I will continue to in the future, let my daughter stay home from school if she needs a, what we call, mental health day. Not frequently. I think this year she's taken one for that reason. You can agree or disagree, but I personally feel as though, as long as it's not, all the time, and it's not abused, like, kids, teenagers, they're humans too. They have emotions too. And if they are having a time and they're stressed out, I am a firm believer in, they might need to take a day off, just like, an adult with a job would be able to use personal time, sick time, vacation time, whatever, and not have to really give a reason and just take a day. Like, I'm all for that when my daughter needs one, and she does not abuse it. She's only asked for one this entire year. She has been quarantined. So, like, back in, like, before, Christmas, she was quarantined, I think 3 or 4 times, because she was in contact traced to be close to somebody with COVID or whatever. And then we got COVID, all me, Bill, and Brielle. Me and Bill tested positive December 29th of 2021. Brielle tested positive on December 31st, New Year's Eve of 2021. So we've all had it. I, lucky me, am the only one who lost my sense of taste and smell. It has thankfully almost fully come back. I would say like 95%. Like there's certain, like right now, like I'm drinking my Starbucks drink and it's great and it tastes great. But there are certain times where, like, for no apparent reason, like I'll feel fine, everything will be fine, and I just can't like fully taste or smell something. And I don't know. Bill and Brielle did not have that problem. We were all extremely sick for like 3 or 4 days, body aches, chills, fever. That we were not throwing up, and we did not have, not to be gross, but it happens, diarrhea. That did not happen. Actually, I'm lying. So there was no vomiting or diarrhea during the COVID. It was mostly just like the other flu symptoms, like congestion, like I said, fever, body aches, chills, all the whole nine. Like we were all like dead to the world. And then me and Bill and Brielle, all three of us had really bad GI issues in terms of going to the bathroom for like a month at least afterwards. We called them the COVID SHITS. Because it was just, I'm not gonna, go that far into detail, but we were all having the same similar issues they were so similar that we came up with this name for them, and they were coined, or given that name, whatever. Anyway, see, I'm already like off on a whole tangent about something else, but, so I was out again. I ran to Starbucks. I had to go to the grocery store. I did all that. And, the whole entire way home, I'm like, I just want to do a whip and chat. Like, I think it's like therapy to me. And because I am on, Medicare, I don't know, for those of you who don't know, the way that it works is that, I decided I'm going to work on a little bit of the smaller section, because I'm honestly not even that motivated to diamond paint right now. But if I don't do something other than like watch TV or look at my phone, I'm just, I think I don't know. Like I need to be doing something. So here we are. But anyway, the whole way home, I was like, I just want to do another whip and chat. So it really has already, after one video, become like an outlet for me. Like, even though I'm not actually talking to anyone, and I'm hoping that people are going to listen afterwards, it helps a lot. I'm really glad that I did it. My fiance, of course, has my back 100%. He always does with everything. So give me 1 second. I'm going to grab my first color. I didn't even do that. Like, I ran in, put the groceries away, and was get my desk ready because we're doing a whip and chat, because that's all I feel like doing today. And, on Fridays and Saturdays, my fiance is off work. So on those days, I could do a whip and chat and there would be background noise, not to mention my daughter, like 9 times out of 10, either has a friend sleeping over or friends over or whatever. Sometimes she sleeps at somebody else's house, but for the most part, they like to come here. So I could do one, but I like the silence that I get, there's a couple hours out of Monday through Thursday, where I just get me time. And I feel like that's the best time for me to do these. So give me 1 second. I'm going to take a sip of my drink, get my drills ready, and then I'm going to get into what happened this weekend that led me to want to really do this one. So give me 1 second. All right. I'm just going to shake the drill tray. Take a hit of my e-cigarette because nicotine is my friend right now. Again, for anybody who is new, I do vape. Quit smoking cigarettes in 2017 and currently working on quitting vaping, but baby steps, and today is not the day. So anyway, okay, so in my previous video, also, I had said, I believe, at one point, I had touched very briefly on the issue the subject of Brielle's biological father. And I initially said that I was not going to go into detail about that whole mess, because that's what it is on here, but I have changed my mind. So you know what, like I really thought this out, and I'm not gonna I'm just gonna state facts. I've never been one to bash him necessarily, like, not, at least not to my daughter's face, but so to give you an idea of what happened with me and him, so I got pregnant with Brielle in 2007. I was 19. Again, I don't know if, for those of you that didn't see my last video, I was in college full time. I was working full time, and like I was in a position where I was financially able to take care of a baby. And although we didn't say, yes, let's have a baby and try, we also didn't not try. And I'm just gonna leave that at that. So I got pregnant. My daughter was born in September of 2008. And then for the majority of Brielle's childhood, he was in jail. And also, from my previous video, you guys that saw it know, and if you're just now watching for the first time, I'm about to tell you, I have, or will have, I'm sorry, 10 years sober on June 13th of this year. So knowing that my daughter is 13 years old, obviously I got clean when, she was 3. Thank God for that, because she does not remember. I kept her away from all of it as much as I possibly could. No excuse for it. It was selfish and whatever, but again, I'm not harping on that, because here I am now with 10 years clean, and that's all that really matters. So, but it is important, because after I had her, that was like, there was a brief time after I had her where I was prescribed Percocet because I had a C-section. And then I was doing like pretty well for a little bit. And then, it got really bad after I got home from Florida. Which again, that whole story is in my last video. That was in 2011. That was the first time that I went from pills to, I'm just going to say it, heroin. And then eventually it was heroin and cocaine. So that is what I am sober from. Heroin, cocaine, and I guess you could say like any type of opiates or whatever. The cocaine was like at the end. And at that point I was so much of a mess that I just would, like do anything. If I couldn't get my preferred drug of choice, then I would go to that. And then I started mixing the two, and I'm really lucky I'm not dead, which I said in the last video. But anyway, so for the greater part of Brielle's entire childhood, her father was in prison. Now, I'm not saying this to toot my own horn, because how I did not ever end up arrested or in jail is a miracle to me, but I did not. I have no record other than my speeding ticket, which again, talked about that in my last video, on the road that I now will not. I don't really speed at all, but I really, really, really check myself on that road, which is right around the corner. Just had some guy doing 60 blowing past me in that 35, but whatever. However, Brielle's biological father, he did spend the majority of her childhood in, it started out as county prison, and then it ended up like upstate. After, like, I think a big part of the reason why him and I had a lot of the issues that we did was because we were both active addicts. That is for anybody out there with any kind of knowledge or experience, and that it doesn't work. It's, as far as I'm concerned, it's impossible. There were times where I would try to get clean and he didn't want to, or vice versa. There were also times that he wanted to and I didn't. And then this, what I call the night that changed my life, I'm going to save that story for another video because it's really long. But I finally, after 2 failed attempts at rehab, went back for the 3rd time. And on that trip that was my last time. And I am very fortunate to have stayed sober and made it out alive. So anyway, he did not. He went to jail multiple times, just couldn't seem to get his life together. And I waited for him, I believe until my daughter was 6. So I'm talking months. At first it was months, then it was over a year. And then what ended up happening is I had pretty much given up because he was in jail. I don't even really remember at this point because there were so many different times, like, what happened or whatever. But, like, he came home and I believe my daughter was 6 the last time that she saw him and the last time that he saw her. I took her over to see him, but we knew when he came home that he was going back. I believe it was like he got released because he had done his time on whatever charge it was, and they were all like, drug related stuff. It was like petty theft, and like he never killed anybody or did anything like that. But the addiction gets the best of you, so it is what it is. But again, he got out and we knew that he was going back. I think it was like a parole violation or something like that. So I took my daughter to see him. I was also at the time with my now ex, who I talked about in the previous video. It was Brielle's dad, and then him, and then my now fiance. So Brielle's dad knew that I was with my now ex at the time. And when I went and saw him with our daughter, he literally said to me that he wanted to get me pregnant again. And I literally remember, like, I actually laughed, like, at first, because I'm like, he's joking, right? But no, he was not. And I was like, absolutely not. Like, no, I will not even chance that. It's not happening. I will never, ever do to another child what we've done to her. And yes, I was clean. I was doing great. I believe I was living on my own at the time. Yeah, I moved out of my parents' house when Brielle was 6. So we were either living on our own or we were about to be living on our own. And I had come really far, and I had already had I guess 3 years sober at that point. And I said, first of all, we both know that you're going back to jail. And we knew it was going to be, I think, like 11 and a half to 22 months or something like that. And I said, so you're dead serious right now. Like, you just said to me that you think that we should try to have another child right now, which means not only that I would give birth while you were in jail, but then I would have to have that baby, raise it on my own. It just obviously, to anybody, that doesn't sound like a good idea. So I said no. And then, and this is really like what you're about to hear. If anybody else has been through this, please let me know in the comments, because I haven't been able to find a single person in a support group, online, or anywhere for that matter, that has been through what I'm about to tell you. Like, again, when I'm doing these videos and you're like, her stories couldn't get any crazier. Yeah, let me tell you, buckle up, because here we go. So I refused, for many very obvious reasons. I was not doing that. I had told him that I would consider leaving my now ex, who I ended up leaving anyway, if and when he got his life together, because at that time, I'm 25 years old or something like that. And I still had kind of that, like, that thing in the back of my mind where I'm like, well, if I could be with her biological father, like, that would be the best thing. But like, now, do I believe that? No, not if they're not able to provide your child with the life that they deserve, then absolutely not. But I also was not happy in my relationship with my ex, as I stated in the last video, for a lot of reasons. It got way worse after that whole thing, that whatever. But anyway, I said no, and he was really, like, pissed, I guess, upset. I don't know. And he couldn't, and I remember saying, like, you have to prove to me that you're, like, that you're, like, you're gonna have to, first of all, wait till you get out of prison, because you're going upstate, and then prove to me that you can hold a job, like, all that stuff. And he got mad. He didn't like that. I basically gave him kind of an ultimatum. I don't really even know what you would call that, but instead of, like, just being like, oh, she said no or whatever, he decides to here's the thing. He got another girl pregnant before he went back for his next stint. It was not just some random girl that I didn't know or whatever. It was a girl who I was friends with, and I say that because I knew the whole time from the day that I met that girl that there was something I just didn't like about her. I thought she was sneaky. I thought, like, I'm a pretty good gauge of character, and I was, we did kind of become friends. Like, we didn't hang out too much, but everything in my gut was like, you really got to watch that one. So, I had accused my ex, Brielle's dad, and her of, like, having an affair, essentially. Like, I was engaged to Brielle's dad at one point. And I don't remember, like, I think there was something on his phone, like, it went off or something, and then, like, he looked at it and, like, pulled it away from me or something. And I knew without a fraction of a doubt, I forget again because my head was messed up and whatever, but I knew that they had been talking behind my back. And I went off on both of them. Like, I know there's something going on between the two of you. When I left to go to Florida, that was why. And I, again, like an idiot, when I was in Florida, called Brielle's dad, and he convinced me to come home and blah, 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 blah. Turns out I was right. I literally apologized to both of them, and I was like, all right, maybe, like, stupid me, like, seriously, like, oh, maybe I was wrong, even though, again, I did have some kind of, like, physical evidence that this was going on, but whatever. So this girl that I was friends with for years, friends, again, like, it wasn't like we, spent every waking moment together. We weren't like best friends, but we did become close at one point. He decides to get her pregnant. So now this girl is also, and based on what I've heard from plenty of reliable sources, she still does not have, she's not sober. And if she is, whatever, I honestly couldn't care less. I don't like her. I never have. This girl, literally, people, and if something happens, like something crazy goes down, and she ends up seeing this and tries to say, no, I didn't, I have access to docket sheets and people that it's not like a common thing, but I have them, and I looked it up just to make sure that what I was hearing was true. She derailed a train track to take the copper or whatever it's made out of to a pawn shop and got charged with, obviously, multiple felonies, including risking a catastrophe. Like, I did some pretty messed up stuff when I was in active addiction, but never once, ever, was I like, let me go take apart some train tracks in the middle of the night. knowing that there would be trains coming with like human lives on them. Like I never ever got to that low of a point. And I have a lot of friends that were in active addiction at one point. Most of them are not alive anymore, that never even would have considered going to that type of a length. Like the first thing that popped into my head when I found out about that was she took apart a train track, like the public train that comes through here on the hour every hour, that like with human beings on it. Thankfully, I don't know the logistics of how she got caught or how it went down or any of that, but they figured it out, and we're able to, like, the train never went off the tracks, nobody died, thank God for that. But like, this girl still to this day, okay, and this was told to me by a very like trusted source, is driving with a breathalyzer thing in her car. Like, so has like gotten a DUI recently enough that with her, they now have 2 kids, okay? So it wasn't like, oh, I'm just gonna get her pregnant once. Like, that was bad enough. Like, I have said this to my daughter. She knows about his other 2 kids, and they also have, this is straight out of Brielle's grandmother's mouth, they really do not think that the second child is even his, which wouldn't surprise me one bit, because she has a reputation. Let's just leave it at that. And she did back when I was friends with her, and I witnessed it firsthand, which is a big part of the reason why I suspected the 2 of them doing what they did. And let me also say, I was not perfect in my relationship with Brielle's dad either. I did do things that, I cheated on him, I think once, because I found out that he had cheated on me. He cheated on me multiple times, and our relationship got very messy. I was young. But I never cheated on him with his best friend. I can tell you that right now. So whatever. So once I found out that she was pregnant with his kid, that was the nail in the coffin for me. Like, I was, like in my head, I've actually have since said this to Brielle's grandmother. If he had legitimately gotten his life together and whatever, sobered up, got out of jail, found a job, and found a decent woman who wasn't somebody that I used to be friends with, or let alone best friends with at one point in time, that would be a completely different story. I've moved on. I don't think anybody really can blame me for that. And if you do, again, I do me. I don't care. But like, Brielle's dad doesn't know Bill. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would never do that. And because it happened the way that it did, I will never in a million years have any kind of, first of all, Brielle has made it very clear that she wants nothing to do with her biological father. As recent as 2 days ago, when I told her what I'm about to tell you about the phone call that I got. So let me tell you about the phone call real quick, but now you know enough about that whole situation to understand why I'm angry. I'm pissed off. Like, it is what it is. I can't go back and change it. Whether the second kid's his or not, it doesn't matter. Like, once he got her pregnant, he destroyed the possibility of there ever being like a co-parenting thing or whatever. And my daughter didn't even know about his first other daughter, whatever. If this, now we don't know if he really has biologically 2 or 3. Or even really necessarily definitely 2. They're like, oh, well, she kind of looks like him, whatever. Get a DNA test, dude, because this girl, again, has quite the reputation, so, whatever. Anyway, so over the weekend, I get a phone call from Brielle's grandmother. Now, I have, for the most part, stayed in contact with her since, like, through all of it. She did not do anything wrong in this whole situation. There was a time after I found out about the whole thing with Brielle's dad and this other girl where I did not talk to Brielle's grandmother, and that was my fault. I was just so like angry and taken aback by the whole thing that I didn't want to talk to anybody, but that was not fair to her. I admit that I was at fault. Like she didn't do it. She didn't make that decision, and Brielle is biologically her granddaughter. So after a few failed attempts on her end to reach out to me, I thought about it and I was like, all right, this really, like, it's not fair. She didn't do it. So we have been in contact pretty much like forever from the time that Brielle was born, with the exception of that short time where I just wasn't answering the phone for anybody that had anything to do with him because I was so mad and just like, I still can't believe that he did it. And I know him like the back of my hand. He did it out of spite. Like, I don't care if you had some fling going on or whatever. Like, you intentionally had unprotected sex with this girl, knowing that she could very well get pregnant, and you did it after you came to me and asked me to have a kid with you. Now, let's think about that for a second. She knew just as well as I did that he was going back to jail, and she didn't think like maybe we should wait. No, because they're both morons. I don't really care if either one of them see it. They're both idiots. That's how I feel. Whatever. I'd be mad. I could care less. I know I'm doing a hell of a lot better off in life than both of them are. So at least, I grew from my mistakes and my past experience, whereas they're just like, let's have another one. Whatever. Anyway, Brielle's grandmother. Now, again, Brielle has not seen her since Brielle was, I believe, 6. It was the last time that we were all at his mom's house. But I have stayed in contact with her. Now, Brielle, when she was, I believe, like 9 or 10, developed really, really, really bad anxiety, which has since pretty much subsided, thank God, because of course, because of all of my mental health issues, I'm like, oh my God, like, whatever. But she was at the age where she was like, where's my dad? Like, any kid's eventually going to ask questions like that. And I was honest with her and I said, he's in jail. I did not, when she was 9, 10, whatever, tell her about the other baby. I waited until she was older to do that, but she does now know that there are potentially 2. She does not care. She actually said to me, as far as I'm concerned, I'm still an only child. And if that's how she feels, that's how she feels. She knows the truth. Again, I was really good, I'm not going to keep saying really good friends. I was really close with the girl. And she knows that. She knows that that is the person that her dad decided to impregnate, knowing that he was going back to jail. And she wants nothing to do with her father. Nothing, especially her. And again, like, if he had gotten his life together and met some girl that was decent and that I didn't know, maybe this whole thing could have been different. But he really, really put the nail in the coffin. It's done. I don't think she's ever going to change her mind. She has so much, and she's such an awesome kid. Like, she has such a big heart, like so much love in her, but she despises her father. She doesn't like to talk about him. She doesn't like when other people are like, where's your dad? She considers Bill, my fiance, her stepdad. I think in her eyes, honestly, I know for a fact, because actually she did say he's more of a father to me than my own father ever was. She did actually say that at one point. So anyway, she was like 9 or 10 and went to therapy because she developed this like really, really, really bad anxiety. Like, she thought that people were gonna like come in the door at night. Like, I don't know if maybe she like saw something on TV, and I was very like, and still kind of am like, I pay close attention to what she's watching on TV. Like, I would put the kid settings on her phone and all that stuff. So I don't really know. And I asked her and she was like, I don't know, like, where this came from, this fear of like somebody coming in the house in the middle of the night. And it was also just like general anxiety, but she had this really, like, overwhelming fear of somebody coming into the house. I don't know why. So she saw a therapist for a little bit. I was always in the room with her at that time because she wanted me to be. I left it up to her. She said, "Yeah, I want you to be there," and I was like, "Okay." I have her back, 100%, no matter what. She has since the anxiety seems to have subsided. She does still, like, she has to make sure, like, if me, Bill, and Brielle go somewhere and we come home, or if Bill's here and we come home, or if he's not here and me and Brielle come home, she has to make sure that all of the locks on the front door are locked. She doesn't, it's not like a tick. Like, it's not like she has to do it a certain amount of time. She just has to make sure that it's locked. So I think there's still some like little bit of like a fear. But again, I mean, and yeah, we live in a very safe neighborhood, but I don't care how safe your neighborhood is. You really never know anymore. This world is sick. So I also like to make sure that the door is always locked. So I'm not going to fault her for that. Who would? Okay, anyway, back to the phone call that I've now said like a bajillion times. So now you kind of know the backstory. Her grandmother called me, I believe it was Friday night, pretty late, and I was already like laying down, ready to go to bed. And so she calls, and every single time she calls, I'll be completely honest, I'm like, is her dad dead? Like, that's the first thing that goes through my head. Her grandmother thinks that he's like doing great, and he may be now, but I know, and I don't think she knows this because again, I have access to docket sheets, that he was arrested in April of last year for retail theft. So why would you be arrested for retail theft if you weren't actively using? Just saying. And he keeps getting pulled over for like driving an uninspected car, driving uninsured, speeding. Like, he keeps getting tickets and stuff, and I see all that, and he barely talks to her, so she probably doesn't know that, but I do, which tells me enough to know that, and then the girl's got this, she just recently got a DUI. This past New Year's, I believe it was, I think Brielle's grandmother told me, with his two whatever kids in the car, showed up at her house on New Year's Eve when we had COVID and got drunk and tried to get Nick's little brother, well, now I said his name, whatever, that's Brielle's biological dad's name, Nick's little brother, to blow into the breathalyzer of her car so that she could go home. And Brielle's grandmother called Nick and was like, he was at work on New Year's Eve, and she said, "You need to leave and come get your kids because your girlfriend, whatever, is trying to have your brother, blow into her breathalyzer, and I'm not letting her drive drunk with my grandkids." I don't blame her. I would have freaked. I would have lost it on her. Like, grow up, both of them. Like, I mean, I can't really fault him for that because he was at work, but like, again, there's a lot that his mom doesn't know, so whatever. So she calls me again. It was really late. She left a voicemail that I listened to the following day, and then and she told me, she said, "Hey, it's me," and I knew who it was because the number saved in my phone, whatever. She goes, "I've been in the hospital for about a week, with the flu, pneumonia, and not sepsis, some infection, oh my goodness. The flu, pneumonia, and I can't think of it for the life of me. Oh, a staph infection. Okay. So, and then, so I got the voicemail, and then I called her, the following day after she called me. And I'm sorry, at the end of the voicemail, she was like, I could literally hear her tearing up. She was like, "I need you to please tell Brielle that I love her and I miss her. And just please make sure that you tell her that, and I'll try to give you a call back later." Now, she did not sound good. She also recently fought breast cancer. Thank God, obviously, she survived it, but she had a double vasectomy, and like her health has not been great. She has like neuropathy and a lot of stuff going on. So I get this voicemail, and immediately I'm like, I'm just gonna say it, like, is she gonna die? Like, what? Like, I got scared, and I don't want anything to happen to her. Like, she is the grandmother of my daughter, and even though they haven't seen each other, and either we, in 7 years or whatever it's been at this point, like, I still don't want anything to happen to her. So I called her back, and she told me what was going on. Like, she's really, really sick. And she told me that if her son, she has Brielle's dad, Nick, he has a sister that's like a year or two younger than him. And the last that I knew about her, she was living on the streets of Kensington. She has 3 kids, one of which Brielle's grandmother is raising with her now, with her husband, and the other 2 are with a, thank God, phenomenal foster family, and will most likely be being permanently adopted by them. That's a story for another day. But so she has 3 kids, willingly gave up all 3, which I have to admit, like, because given the state that she's in, and she just didn't ever want to be a mom. Like, I actually heard her say it. So I would rather, as much as it kind of sucks for the kids to like not know their mom, they're better off. They are so much better off. Like, but anyway, so yeah, Brielle's dad has biologically 1 full sister, again, a year or 2 younger than him, and she's not doing good at all. And then 2 half brothers. And the 2 younger brothers, they still live at home. They're both still in high school. So she said if one of them had not found her, or I think not found her, called the ambulance when they did, she probably would not be alive right now. So it was really bad. She then also told me that today is Monday. Also, I was wrong on the date of my last video. Sorry about the beep right there. I just said I was off on the date of my last video. I think I had said it was the 29th of April. It was the 28th. And today is, I think, May 2nd. Yeah, today's May 2nd of 2022. So anyway, she told me that Monday, which is today is now Monday, that she was being transported to a like a rehabilitation facility. She was not able to pee on her own. And I guess just because of like the havoc that the chemo and whatever from the cancer like took on her body, like she needs to go to a like rehabilitative care facility until she is, I guess, well enough in their opinion to come home. So she asked me, like, she said that, like, that the night that she called and left me the voicemail, like, she broke down over the fact that she hasn't seen Brielle. And so I told her, and I was totally honest, that I would talk to her, to Brielle. And I did. And I played the voicemail for Brielle. And Brielle knew that her grandmother wanted to see her. This is a topic that has not been brought up in a couple of months. And the last time we talked about it, she said that she was like really considering it because she knew that it wasn't her grandmother's fault. She would kind of like to know her biological father's side of the family, but she was very adamant then and now that she does not, under any circumstances, want to see her biological father. And again, I don't blame her. And I have told her grandmother multiple times, if she does, sorry again for the beep, I have told her grandmother, Brielle's grandmother, multiple times that if she does not want to do something, I will not force her to do it. And that stands, I don't care who you are. Like, if my own mother or father wanted to take Brielle out and do something and she didn't want to go, guess who's not going? Brielle's not, because she's 13. She's extremely mature for her age. She's grown a lot. She's been through a lot, as you can, there's everything with my dad and my brother. I only have one sibling, my brother. Again, if you didn't see my last video, my dad's an alcoholic, my brother's an alcoholic. My dad, who I'm very close with despite everything that's going on, had a severe mental breakdown to the point where we had to have him psychiatrically committed twice in the beginning of COVID of 2020. Was like Brielle's was, I would say more was at this point, Brielle's father figure up until I met Bill. And she is still like heartbroken because my dad, he's doing somewhat better mentally. We still don't know exactly what happened to him, like when that whole mental breakdown thing happened. But now he is choosing to drink, so she doesn't want to be around him. And again, he's my own father, and it really sucks, but I don't blame her. I don't really want to be around him when he's like that at all. Like, it's other people's choices dictate, like, so like for my dad, like his choices dictate how his granddaughter and me, his own daughter, view him, and then we have to make the choices that are best for ourselves, no matter how much they hurt. So anyway, Brielle decided that when her grandmother gets home from the hospital and the rehab place after she's better, that she does want to see her. Again, she said it probably 3 times. I do not want to see my father. She doesn't want anybody to bring him up. Like nothing. She does not want to hear his name. She doesn't want anybody to say like, blah, 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 your dad, like nothing. Like and Brielle said, as long as everybody that we are going to see can respect that, then yes, she would like to see her grandmother. She, again, is now 13, so I think she has matured enough to understand that a couple things, like, A, her grandmother didn't do anything. Did she at times side with her own son when I feel as though she shouldn't have? Yes. But as a parent, I would side with, I mean, if she was doing something really wrong, I would tell her and I would try to get her help, but I would still, I'm always going to have my daughter's back first. As anybody that's a parent, I know you know what I mean. And even if you're not a parent, I'm sure, like, think about it. If you're not a parent and you had a child, would you or would you not have their back through everything and anything, no matter what? Yes. If the answer to that is no, I'm not even going to say what I think about that. That's just, in my opinion, as a parent, that's where I stand. So she then, I'm sorry, I called Brielle's grandmother and I said, yes, she wants to see you when you get better. And then her grandmother told me that she does not think that we should do it at her house. And I was like, why not? And at first I thought maybe because like maybe she was worried that like Brielle would get upset because like she remembers that house and she remembers seeing her dad there, and she was like, it's kind of that, but it's also that the girl that her dad is whatever dating or whatever like pops in unnoticed all the time. And I was like, oh, and I actually thanked her for making me aware of that, because that nope, like I will march right out of there with Brielle, and I can tell you right now, like that would be the end. That would be the end all of end all if that happened. So we have agreed upon a place that we're gonna meet when she gets out, so that way, even if the girl does show up, that nobody will be there. And Brielle will hopefully also get to see some other family members on that side. So, like, all in all, I think it's a good thing. I really do. Brielle is pretty excited about it. As long as her dad is not mentioned or brought up or whatever, she does, at this point in her life, want to have a relationship with at least his mom. And the man that she is with, they've been married for, I don't know, probably at least 20 years, is not Brielle's dad's biological father. Brielle's dad and his dad are so similar, it's like crazy, but whatever. So yeah, so that's where we're at right now. And Bill is super supportive of it. He offered to come with us. I think that would be a good thing. I think it'll make Brielle more comfortable. I know for a fact I'll be way more comfortable. Like, it's not like I don't know the people that I'm going to see, because, like, they were a part of my life endlessly for 6 years, and because I have a kid with her son, they're always going to be a part of my life in some capacity. But the reality of, like, the world is that she's not going to be around forever. None of us are. And Brielle thought about that, and she was like, the first thing that she asked me when she heard the voicemail was like, is she going to be okay? And I was like, I think so. Like, it sounds like yes, but I can never, like, guarantee anything. And then she said, like, she doesn't want it to be too late. Like, and I agree. Like, I would feel so bad for her if she, like, didn't want to see her, and then God forbid she passes away or something, and then she never has the opportunity to do it. I feel like at least this way, it's not even a full day, like a couple of hours, and she can get to know them. We'll see how it goes, and then after that, if she decides for whatever reason, again, I'm going to back her no matter what, that she doesn't want to see her or them again, she will not see her or them again, because it's just as simple as that. Like, when it comes to my daughter, what she wants, and when it comes to things like that, like, I will never force her to do anything. So I'm hoping that it goes well. I honestly, in my heart, I feel that it will. I don't think anything's going to go wrong. And maybe it'll end up being, like, great for Brielle to have more family members in her life. My fiance and I did talk about it. He's fully supportive, which is amazing, because a lot of men wouldn't be. It would, and again, there's a reason why and I'm not saying this to come at anybody. I don't mean for this to sound like I'm attacking anybody, so I'm sorry if it comes off that way, but for myself personally, there's a reason why I only have one child, and I'm just going to leave it at that. If I could go back and do anything differently, the only thing I would do differently is that she would not have a deadbeat biological father. I wouldn't change anything. I really wouldn't, because the way that my life played out, like, I needed her, and she really is what saved me in the end. So that is what happened over this weekend, and it just, like, I don't know, like, maybe, and you know what, like, I've even thought about this, like, am I going to sound petty? Do I sound petty saying that because it was a close friend of mine that he decided to have this new family with, which no, they don't, because I've also found out that he's miserable. He only stays because, and I quote from somebody that I talked to, that he knows that if he leaves, she will take him for everything. Now, on the crazy off chance that you happen to see this, Brielle's dad, you deserve so much better. And as pissed as I am at you for choosing her of all people to be the one that gave birth to your maybe one, at least, or whatever, maybe one, maybe two, maybe none kids, move on, dude. Seriously, like, get your life together, get yourself a place, like, rent, a 1-bedroom. If you have 2 other kids, you can stay in the living room, and the kids, when you get them, can stay in the bedroom. Like, I'm sorry, but, like, I clearly did not stay in a relationship because that's the father of my child. No, I tried, and it was very clearly not working out, like, for reasons that I stated earlier in the video. And she is all right. Like, yeah, she doesn't have her biological father in her life. She's not the only one out there. There's millions of people that don't. We don't speak at all. He doesn't call me. I don't even think I have his number, to be completely honest, and I don't care. I don't want to talk to him. She doesn't want to talk to him. She doesn't care how he's doing. I don't care. how he's doing. I don't want him to die or anything like that, but do better for yourself, dude. Like, who cares? Like, you really think she's going to take you for everything? She's the one driving around with a breathalyzer, attached to her car, drunk driving with your kids. Like, at the very least, if you're doing as good as your mom's saying that you're doing, and you have a job, and I don't know where you guys are living, probably with her parents, that wouldn't surprise me, but whatever. Get your own place, take her to court, and get split custody. That's what happens when you have kids, and you knew this when you had one with me. Like, you already knew the outcome, so I don't understand what made you think that she would be any better. Again, if it had been some new half decent female that we didn't already know for a fact was disgusting, I'm just like, I'm gonna end up on a whole rant, and I don't want to sit here and waste time doing that. You guys already know how I feel about her, how I feel about the whole situation, how Brielle feels about it. Whatever, like, she's never going to have a relationship with her biological father, and you would think, common sense, that because of the fact that she wants nothing to do with him would have prevented him from having more, kind of like it did for me. But no, we're dealing with somebody who is on a whole other level mentally, and I just can't even begin to fathom like where he gets his ideas from. Like, what goes through this man's brain? What made him think that that was a good idea? Like, I just can't. I can't fathom any of it. Like, again, go serve the rest of your time, and then when you get out and you actually get your life together, then yeah, okay, find a nice girl and that has her life together and start a new family. But no, we're gonna do it with her, whatever. So it's a very unique situation, and I don't know, maybe some people think, sorry for the beep again, maybe some people think I'm being petty. I don't care. I feel how I feel. I think it is just about the worst thing that he possibly could have done. And he has ruined there ever being a chance of my daughter, our daughter, whatever, wanting any kind of a relationship with him, and he has to live with that. So if that means that he's miserable for the rest of his life and stuck with her, if he wants to say that, whatever, man, like that, again, that's on you. You made the decisions that you made. I didn't. Again, there's a reason why I have one child and why again, I'm just gonna stop there. So there's that. And you know what? Now that I've gotten it all out, I actually feel a little bit better. It's infuriating, like having to deal with the whole situation, and Brielle's grandmother is absolutely right. It is not fair that that like when families don't end up not working out for whatever reason, whether it's the reasons that we had, like the drug use and him going to jail, or if it's just simply because it doesn't work out. She made the comment that it's not fair that like the rest of the family suffers, like meaning grandparents and stuff, and it's not fair at all. And I think well, I know now because Brielle's agreed to see her that she realizes that, and that makes me proud and like happy, like to know that my daughter at 13 years old, yes, for a time she didn't want to see anybody on his side of the family, and I understand that, but like, again, kids don't just become the people that they turn out to be. It stems from the way that they were raised and things like that. And I'll never ever say any differently than that, because I firmly believe that to be the case 150%. 1 second, I'm going to take a sip of my drink. So yeah, so the fact that Brielle is, yes, again, yes, before it was different, and she didn't, at 9 and 10 years old, who can blame her for being confused? And, in the back of her mind, and she has said this, she knows that when she does go see her, even now at 13 years old, it's going to be emotional. I'm going to get emotional. I already know that. The whole situation sucks. And my anger stems from the fact that her father made it suck 10 times worse than it had to suck. Like, it's bad enough when, a kid grows up without their biological parents or whatever, but like when one of the parents makes it as bad as he has, it's awful. So yeah, it took her a really long time to come to terms with the fact that my grandmother isn't the one that made these decisions. It was my dad. And again, yeah, she's got a lot of hate for him, a lot. Like, he's tried to like weasel his way back in through my dad. Like, when my dad was going through his mental breakdown, for some reason that I'm still like, I have no idea why. Like, he was like, I'm gonna go see Brielle's dad and talk to him, and my dad told me that he did, and then I think her dad was like Brielle plays violin, and I think my dad was like, I talked to Brielle's dad, and he said that he'll buy her a violin, and I was like, no. Like, I don't get child support from him. I tried for years, and because he's a like chronic whatever, like chronically in jail, you can't get blood from a stone. You can't get money from somebody who, at least up until now, hasn't held a job. And she's 13, and I don't know if he works on the books. I don't know if it's under the books or under the table. I don't care. I don't want his money. I don't want, like, I've gone this long without any help from him whatsoever. And it is literally, at least in the phone did not fall. Charlotte, be careful. At least in the state of Pennsylvania, it is 20 times more difficult to go for child support or custody or whatever the case may be than it is to just let it be. So thankfully, I have a fiance who's amazing, and and has stepped up, and it's not like we live comfortably. We're not rich by any means. We don't have bunches of extra money to just do whatever we want with. Like I said in the beginning of the video, today was a Starbucks day, which are once every 3 months, maybe, if that, because we don't really have the money for like luxuries like that. And yeah, I consider that a luxury because it's expensive and it's not necessary. Like, I could have just came home and made, poured a drink out of the fridge, drank a water bottle, a soda, whatever. But I was having a day, and I decided, I haven't been to Starbucks in a couple months. I'm going to go. So I did. But again, like, it's just not worth the headache. I tried for years when she was a baby to take him for child support. Now, listen to this. In the state of Pennsylvania, even if the father of the child that you're trying to get the child support for is incarcerated, you still, okay, this is how messed up our system is. Even if they are incarcerated and have been for over a year, they still make the other parent drive. In my case, it's a 35-minute drive. Like, I live in a big county with a lot of cities, and they made me drive 35 minutes every 3 months to the domestic relations office so that they could have a woman sign a form that says, yes, he's still incarcerated. I'm not wasting my time. I'm not doing it. I did it for months. I'll be honest. Yes, we were at one point on like state assistance, and we needed it at the time. And in order to get it, that was what I had to do. I had to pay the money for transportation to get there and back. I had to pay for parking. And I had to find somebody to watch her, because also, even the child of the person that you're going to get the benefits for, if they're under the age of 18, they're not allowed in the building. It's unreal. I don't know if it's like that in every state. I kind of get why they don't want the kids in there. Like, like, if for maybe for like people that are like, physically assaulted or whatever, I kind of get it. But it's like, what if I wasn't as fortunate as I am, and I didn't have the people in my life that I do that are willing to just watch her Like, I don't, like, then what? Like, what if I was literally, like, hypothetically, if things had gotten so bad that me and her were, like, living in a homeless shelter and I had nobody to watch her? Then what? So we're just not supposed to get benefits because I can't, it's just, it's not worth it, at least in my eyes. And again, he would get a job under the table. And then I did get him one time to show up to a, like, mediation hearing thing or whatever. And he was working under the table. And I literally said that to the woman, and he like denied it, but he was like laughing like a smart aleck, like the smart aleck that he is. And the lady was like, "Well, listen, like I'm going to take her word for it because of the way that you're acting right now, and we're going to write down on this form that you are working under the table for a landscaper." Like I gave the lady the phone number and anything. At one point I really did try, and she said that he had, and again, he was going back to jail again. So there was no point in me even going, but I had to get the benefits. And she said, "You will have X amount of days to get a job once you are released from prison. And if you don't, we're going to force you to pay." And then because he was working for a landscaping company under the table, there's like a book that the domestic relations people have. That says like this is the average of what a landscaper makes in the state of Pennsylvania, and that is what they would have, whether he was still working for them or not, that is what they would have gone after him for when he was released. Now by the time he got released, that time I think Brielle was like 11. I don't even, like, this is literally like he's just a career criminal. I don't know. He was, or I'm sorry, we did not need the assistance anymore that forces you to go and do all this. So I just said, screw it. I was like, it is just like, he's not going to do it. And then he's going to, arrears. And he's going to just keep going back to jail because he owes arrears. And even if I keep fighting it, I'm never going to see a dime of it anyway. Even if, like he did, I think one time he did try to send money to me or something, and I was like, no, I'm good. Like, because at that point, so much time had gone by that again, I got over like the being mad, and there was a part of me for a time that was like hurt and all that, and I'm over that, and it's just not worth it. It's just not. I would rather, because Brielle would rather him just completely be out of our lives, leave us alone. I don't ever want to have to go to court. I don't ever want to have to go sit in front of him in a mediation room and listen to him spew his BS or whatever. Just the way that it is now is that for the past, I guess, 6 years, there has been no contact. No contact between me and him. No contact between him and Brielle. And we're all happier. And thankfully, my life took the turn that it did. And I met Bill. And, like, I always say this. Like, when you do the right things, good things happen. Yeah, bad crap, obviously, always happens too. But, like, generally speaking, when you do the right thing, the right things happen. And something that my dad, who is, like, literally one of the wisest men on the entire planet, despite the other things that I have said, told me something when I was young. He's told me many things that you'll hear me saying in videos to come. But one of them, this is, like, one of my favorite sayings. He was outside of work one day. My dad, he is a mechanical designer, so like he does some pretty crazy stuff. It's really cool. But anyway, he was standing outside of one of his old jobs, and they're like where his job was, they shared a building with a dance studio, and there was a mother and daughter. Like, I don't know if they were going into the dance studio, if they were leaving or whatever, but they were like, I think my dad said the little girl was probably like 11, and they were clearly like, the daughter was like giving the mom lip, and the mom got like really upset and turned to the little girl and said, life is the sum of all of your decisions. And my dad said, like, it was like, bing, like, wow, like, that was powerful. And it is. That woman was absolutely right. And whether she said it, in that moment because she was frustrated or whatever, it is, like, to this day, something that I repeat to people, like, whenever it just kind of sounds right in a conversation or to try to help people. But it absolutely, like, life absolutely is the sum of all of your decisions. You are in control of most things. Yeah, do things happen, like me getting cancer when I was 23, that are totally out of your control? Yes. But for generally speaking, life is the sum of all of your decisions. Like, I could have chosen not to get sober. I could have chosen, I don't even want to know where I would be right now if I had done that. I definitely wouldn't have my daughter, and I would be willing to bet I wouldn't be alive if I had not left my ex, either one of them, Brielle's dad or the one after that, and met Bill and decided to stay with him because I'm actually happy now. That would have not only would I have still been miserable, but Brielle would have thought that it was okay for a man to treat a woman the way that I was treated in that relationship. So, like I said in my last video, I broke the cycle all the way around, in every way that I possibly could, and I'm still working on, because I'm human and we all have flaws. I don't like the fact that I vape, but I do it, and that is now my next goal, is to stop doing that, because it's not, it's not good. It's not something that I want to continue to do. And as a parent, if you want your kids to, in my opinion anyway, listen to you or take you seriously, you have to be a good role model. So I don't want to make this video super, super long. So I am going to, I guess, end it there for the day. Again, I wanted to just thank everybody, every single one of you who watched my last video. There were a few of you who reached out to me, and I didn't have any negative feedback. But again, like, if you do think that there's something that you'd like me to do differently, or there's something you don't like, whatever, any kind of feedback is welcome. I've had people say, like, that they wanted more, so I'm gonna keep trying, at least for a little bit, and see what happens. And I may keep doing it even if I don't get any feedback or don't see any results, simply because after having done this video right now, I already feel like, I don't know how to measure it, but, like, I feel better now that I just said all that. And I don't feel all wound up like I was when I first started recording. And it's like, again, it's like an outlet for me. And maybe there's people out there that, I'm sure that there's people that can relate to some of what I said. Like, I know for a fact that not all people have parents that are still together. Some of you may not still be together with the parent of your child, like me. My parents, literally, I said in my last video, they just got divorced in August of last year. So it hasn't even been a year yet. They were together until I was 33 years old, and they just got divorced. And again, that's a story for another time. But I have many, many, many more stories to tell. But because this particular phone call happened over the weekend, it kind of just, like, I guess, set me off. Like, and again, from the first video, I have bipolar disorder, amongst a number of other issues, anxiety, PTSD, agoraphobia, at least some form of it, insomnia, sleep paralysis, chronic fatigue. It's just, the list goes on and on and on and on and on. And when I get wound up like that, and I don't get it off my chest, I kind of tend to, like, shut down, and I didn't want that to happen. So just saying this on camera helped. So thank you so much to everybody that has taken the time out of your day, even if you're, hopefully, like, you're diamond painting or doing some kind of a craft while you're listening to this. I appreciate it more than you could ever possibly know. If you are interested in hearing more, please subscribe to my channel, like the video, or most importantly, and I apologize because I didn't realize that when I posted the first video, I had the comments turned off. And then I'm like, oh crap. And I realized it like, I think it was like Friday or Saturday night. So they're now on, but I'm going to make sure that they're on for this video. So like seriously, feel free to leave any, like good, bad, I don't like your videos. I love your videos. I would like to hear more about this. Anything at all. If you would, but like I'm trying to gauge, like whether or not I should continue to do it, like these videos based on, the number of subscribers, the number of people that have watched the video, the number of people that have liked the video. And again, I may continue to do it anyway, just because it makes me feel better, but if there's things that I can touch on and that you would like me, or things that you would like me to elaborate on, let me know and I will absolutely elaborate on them. Again, there is much more that I haven't even touched on yet in either of these two videos. Like there's probably something out there for everybody at this point. Also, in my last video, which was my first video, somebody asked me where I got this pen. And I did shout out to her in the last video. I don't know if maybe they didn't watch the whole thing or just saw the pen and like the clip thing or whatever it's called. But anyway, if you're watching and you want to know where I got this, it is from a woman. Her name is Stacy Perodin. I have carpal tunnel in both of my hands, and when I first started diamond painting, I went with the regular, like, standard pink pen that comes with the kits, and my hands and wrists were on fire, and I was like, I'm not going to be able to do this craft. I had to stop crocheting which I used to do all the time, because of the carpal tunnel. For whatever reason, there is something about these pens, and I have a couple of other ones, that it does not make them flare up. These are also from Stacy, and I had another one that was absolutely beautiful, but I dropped it like an idiot and it broke. So I don't know why I didn't throw it out. It's in pieces because I'm still like, maybe I can glue it back together. But yeah, if you want an acrylic pen, Stacy Perodin is the way to go, people. I'm telling you, like, I don't know how she turns them. I think it's called turning. But like I literally would not be able to diamond paint if I didn't have a pen. Well, 3, and then I have another one that is in that drawer that I don't remember where I got it. I'll just show it to you. It's an acrylic, and I don't use it that often. This is not from Stacy. Now, here's the difference. Like this one is fatter and doesn't have like the divots that this one does. I've worked with the purple one of a handful of times, and it's just like there's something about this little dip right here that like makes it easier for me to work with and makes my hands hurt less. So I keep that purple one because, like, you know, why not? If God forbid somehow all of my other pens broke, like, it's better than having one of the pink ones. But yeah, Stacy Perodin is the person to go to if you want acrylic pens. And I'm telling you, like, even if you don't have carpal tunnel or arthritis or like issues with your hands or whatever, like, they're pretty. So like at least buy one. For the quality, the prices are not bad at all. I believe all 3 of the ones from Stacy were gifted to me. Would I buy them in the future? Absolutely, hands down, 100%. I don't, because I have like a crap ton of diamond paintings like stashed away. Like literally, I'm not even kidding. I think I have like over 70 of them. Again, a lot of them were gifts, but I have not purchased any diamond paintings in well over a year, close to 2 at this point, because there's like, I was just, you know, buying and buying and buying and buying when I first found the craft, and there's just like, if you, I don't know, for me, like I have more than 70 that I need to complete, Yes, I have done, I believe this is my 35th or 36th one, so I will get to them, but I have made a pact and promise with myself that I'm not going to buy any more until I am down to 5 in my stash, which will happen at some point, but until it does, I will not buy any more. Same thing with the pens. They're pretty and they're fun, but money, again, like, we're not like, oh my God, like, we're going to be homeless tomorrow, but we are not well off. So I can't like buy things that I don't like absolutely need. That's kind of where we're at. Like, it's tough, but whatever. It's better than, we're not going to be homeless soon or anything like that. So it could always be worse. Anyway, thank you guys again so much for listening. I apologize that this was more of like a kind of a negative type video than a positive type, like the last one, but that's life. We all know that, and I try to keep it relatively real. Well, not relatively, I keep it real. I think you guys can tell that much from me by now. But seriously, to each and every one of you that has taken the time to watch these especially like if you're coming back for the second one, please let me know in the comments or message me on Facebook. Again, I am the main admin of the group on Facebook called Diamond Painting USA. I had to think about it. I was like, is that right? Yeah. Diamond Painting USA. We just changed our cover photo. We have a monthly cover photo contest to a picture of, it kind of looks like a gothic type girl. It's really cool. So feel free, if you're not finding this link on Facebook, to look me up or look our group up. It's a lot of fun. We kind of just, like share our works in progress and little things like that. But I think you guys would enjoy it. So thank you again so much for tuning in today. I feel a lot better now that I've gotten that off of my chest, and I'm going to finish this section off camera because I need to give this time to upload. And I need to charge my phone up a little bit because Brielle has dance tonight. And again, I don't even know what time it is because the setup that I'm working with the phone right now is wonky. That's another thing. Let me know what you think, because the one thing that I will be buying, if you guys make it like known to me, like, yes, we absolutely want more, is a tripod to hold my phone. But I don't want to invest in that if I'm just really going to be doing this for the purpose of making myself feel better. If I'm going to have an audience, I would like to have the phone positioned so that it's looking down on the diamond painting. But I don't feel like I'm quite there yet. And also, because I think somebody asked me, this is what I'm working on right now. I feel like the red in the face looks a little off. I'm going to go back and check to make sure that wasn't wrong. But anyway, I'm ranting again. Thank you again so much to every single person that has been following me on this short so far journey of WIP and Chat videos. Again, please like, subscribe if you're interested. Even if you're not, don't like, don't subscribe, but please leave your feedback in the comments. And I hope every single one of you has a great day. Stay healthy, stay happy, and thanks again so much for tuning in. Bye-bye, guys.